The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job. It's our promise.
A truck is a tool, but a ram is life. Yeah, it's the wipe the sweat off your brow sort of life. But it's also the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. That looks nice. Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
Get the message of your company here. And get your message here. All while supporting local student athletes. Reach out today to get started. Shry Media. Find us at shrymedia.com.
Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
I got involved in officiating volleyball 8 years after I played Division I in college.
Saying yes to volleyball officiating will give you the privilege to be a part of one of the most exciting sports around.
I'm a speaker,
A builder.
I coach.
Culinary arts. Auditor.
A firefighter.
For anyone contemplating becoming a volleyball official, just go for it.
Take the plunge. Open the door.
Say yes to officiating. Learn more about how to get involved at sayyes2officiating.com.
The rhythmic sound of more than 500 cascading waterfalls. The endless echo of more than 10,000 caves. The serene silence of 1,000 miles of wilderness trails. The next time someone tells you to get lost, consider it an opportunity. Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee.
The Southeast Sports Network, your free ticket to front row sports action. From heart-pounding football showdowns to thrilling basketball games, experience every moment live, all from the comfort of your home. Your favorite athletes, broadcast in real time and on demand. It's not just streaming, it's your front row ticket to the best of Southeastern sports. And the best part? It's absolutely free. Don't miss a moment of your favorite teams. Join us now at the Southeast Sports Network. The Southeast Sports Network, your front row ticket to live sports.
Hello and welcome to the campus of Reinhardt University. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. Gabriel Shrine here, Lorenzo Robinson alongside me. We'll have a third member of our team tonight, which we'll introduce in just a moment. A little bit of tension in the air between these two, an unusual amount of tension for programs of the records that they have, but both of them know that a trip to the conference tournament is on the line, and if they want to keep that dream alive, they have to continue to win. That includes this one here tonight, a big tilt on hand and in store for the fans across the country, including yourself. So thank you for sitting in with us for all of the action. The Reinhardt University Eagles, who are 8-9 overall this season, playing host to the Bluefield Rams, who are 5-14. And of course, Reinhardt is 7-2 at home. Bluefield 1-8 on the road. So that should play a huge factor tonight, Lorenzo.
Absolutely. Reinhardt has been one of the better home teams, not just in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, but around the country as well. A different team when they're playing within the Brown Athletic Center for sure.
I'm excited to see what kind of energy they bring to the floor tonight and how this matchup between these two shakes out. Be sure to get connected with the Southeast Sports Network. Find us on social media at SCSN Sports. Would love to have you along for the ride. So without any more chatting, let's get right into it and let's get to meet both of these programs. We'll start with the road team, Bluefield University's Rams. 5-14 overall, 1-7 on the road, 41.7% shooting from the floor, and they're averaging just shy of 72 points per game. And on the other side of the floor there, you can see the Reinhardt University Eagles. They're 8-9 overall, and you just brought this up during the pregame. A 3-game win streak 44.3% shooting from the floor and 80.5 points per game. Tell me about that win streak, Lorenzo.
Well, a quick note about the recent winning streak that Reinhardt has been on is that it's come against three teams that they previously lost to earlier in the season. Reinhardt started the season on a bit of a slide, and that included losses against opponents Truett, McConnell, Johnson, and Kentucky Christian. They have avenged all three of those losses, now with 3 wins in a row, and about to face a Bluefield team that they have not seen so far this year. This will be their first matchup against the Rams.
Our players to watch tonight, we'll start with the Bluefield Rams. You can see in the background there, it's Elijah White we're going to keep an eye on for the Rams. He wears number 0, almost 20 points per game this season, 44% shooting from the floor, 38.8 from beyond the arc, and he's chipping in about 4 or 5 rebounds per game as well. So he's been super impressive this season, and I'm excited to see what he can contribute tonight. On the other end of the floor for the Reinhardt University Eagles, as you can see them warming up, the player to watch tonight will be Darian Reed, and it feels like since the winter break, Darian Reed has been on a tear. He can't miss from long range, and it feels like he's been a huge impact player. 9.8 points per game over the course of this season, 47% from the floor, 47% from long range, and he's chipping in a few rebounds as well. But this guy from Colorado Springs, Colorado, he's been lighting it up.
Absolutely, and we've already known about his exploits when it comes to catching and shooting as a three-point shooter. Currently second in the conference in three-point percentage on around 4 attempts per game. But as we saw in the previous matchup against Kentucky Christian, he's more than capable of putting the ball on the floor and creating his own shot as well. So that just gives Reinhardt another dimension offensively.
Gabriel Schreim on the call tonight here on the Southeast Sports Network. Lorenzo Robinson alongside me. He'll serve as the analyst. Lorenzo, a member of the Reinhardt University Eagles football team. We have a third member in the booth tonight, but we've only met in passing, so you guys are going to have to introduce me.
Absolutely, we will. And I know the waiting, bated breaths of waiting to see who this third member is. You guys will find out very shortly.
It's the Rams and the Eagles. Of course, Bluefield on the road, 5-14 this season, 5-10 in conference play. So with a 33% win percentage in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, they absolutely have to knock off the Reinhardt University Eagles. Reinhardt 7-7 in AAC play this season.
And Reinhardt is 7-7, but I do think that can be a bit misleading. Reinhardt started off the season with dealing with a lot of different injuries, going through different lineups, younger players figuring out their way. But over the course of the past few weeks or so, Reinhardt has been a completely different team. A lot of those young guys are starting to settle into their new roles, and they're figuring things out. A team that you definitely do not want to see as this season continues to progress.
Just a couple of minutes away from tip. We'll take a break and be back with all of the action in just a few minutes on the Southeast Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
A truck is a tool, but a ram is life. Yeah, it's the wipe the sweat off your brow sort of life. But it's also the let's load up the ATV's life. that my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. That looks nice. Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
Welcome back to the campus of Reinhardt University, coming to you live from Waleska, Georgia. It's the Rams of Bluefield University on the road battling the Eagles of Reinhardt. And Reinhardt, a tough test for any team on the road. But Bluefield has struggled in that situation. Just one win on the road this season, and Reinhardt University is 7-2 at home. Gabriel Schrein here with Lorenzo Robinson and Navari Solomon, an all-football booth tonight. Navari had a great season on the outside, catching the ball. I can remember a few long touchdowns I called that you caught this season, so excited to have you on the broadcast with us tonight. Navari, what do you think about the basketball program this season, and what are you expecting tonight?
Reinhardt looking very well over the course of these last 5 games. I've seen they got a few guys that can shoot the ball very well, so it's going to be an exciting one to watch tonight.
Starting lineups introduced. We're just moments away from tip in Waleska, Georgia. The bench bosses tonight: Justin Newton, the head coach of Reinhardt University's Eagles; Richard Morgan, the head coach of the Bluefield University Rams. And Lorenzo, what would your final thoughts be before tip that fans should know or keep an eye on tonight between Bluefield and Reinhardt?
One main thing to keep an eye on for Reinhardt, the matchup down low between Danny Alford and Jared Russo. This is a Reinhardt team that has struggled a little bit when it comes to rebounding the basketball throughout the season, but Jared Russo has provided a nice presence down low in the post, and he'll have a tall task going against Danny Alford, a bit undersized down low, but he's 7th in the AAC in rebounds per game and 6th in blocks per game. That matchup will go a long way towards deciding who will come out victorious in tonight's game.
Elijah White, Christian Bullock, Quintavious McKinney, Danny Alford, Caleb Morgan, the starting 5 for Bluefield University as Reinhardt wins the opening tip. For the Eagles, Fred Adams will run the point. He has the ball now. Nate Lewis down inside. Jared Russo, the big man. Nate Jones. And the 5th on the floor has the ball, Brazen James, as he's double-teamed. Lewis pulls up from the corner, and a 3 in the opening 25 seconds of play from Waleska. Way to knock it down.
Percentage-wise, Lewis is not a guy that you would expect to be a good shooter, shooting at around 27% from deep, but very capable of knocking those shots down. Also very confident, not a guy that you can just blindly leave open, and he shows why on that corner 3.
Elijah White, I thought he was going to pull up from there for a moment. Not out of the realm of possibility. The quick response by the Rams is short as James gets the board. It's 3-0 Eagles as they work with the ball. Great entry pass to the backside to Russo, who gets it to go. 1 minute off the clock, and it's 5-0 Reinhardt Eagles.
That's Fred Adams doing what he does best. First in the conference in assists per game. Really nice, pure point guard for Reinhardt and their offensive attack.
It feels like we're off to 2 highlight plays in a row for Reinhardt University tonight.
And they're keeping their momentum going from this 3-game winning streak that they're on.
A nice little pass by Elijah White as the second chance rattles in. It's a 3-point game, 5-2.
That's what Danny Alford does. Second chance points down low, a great rebounder, and very confident finishing in the paint.
James with a takeaway on the board. Passed outside. This one rattles all across the floor and is loose over the sideline. It'll go to the Rams of Bluefield University. Reinhardt started off with back-to-back trips up the floor, scoring buckets. The Eagles a 5-0 lead, taken away by the Rams. Able to get one on a second chance last trip up the floor. It's 5-2 with 2 minutes gone in Waleska, Georgia. From the elbow, he drives in the mid-post. He gets it to go. A nice little turnaround floater. Close range for Danny Alford.
Reinhardt going with this quasi-matchup zone look. But sometimes you'll get a small guy on a big right there. Danny Alford taking advantage of the cross match, making a play.
Reinhardt University in the corner. It's Fred Adams. Somehow finessed this to Nate Jones. 7 on the shot clock. Fred Adams. Wow, a penetration pass now to the straightaway and Jones. 2 on the shot clock as he lets it fly from the elbow and knocks it down with a buzzer beater.
Jones, one of the more skilled scorers in the country.
Another beautiful entry pass for the Rams. This time it's Quintavis McKinney who gets it to go, the junior from Lineville, Alabama.
Danny Alford showcasing a little bit of the passing chops there. And it's such an advantage for your team offensively to be able to have a guy that can create plays out of the post as well. Creates a lot of matchup issues.
Nate Jones in the corner. We've already seen 13 total points scored between these two. 2.5 minutes gone. Here's the pull-up from just in play, and Nate Jones knocks it down. The 3-ball makes it 10-6 Reinhardt Eagles.
Jones, one of the few guys in the country who marries volume with efficiency. About 8 3-point attempts per game, shoots at around a 40% clip.
This is James, one man to beat as he puts it off the glass and gets the foul down underneath the basket. James has been a great contributor this year as he'll go to the charity stripe. A redshirt freshman out of Augusta, Georgia. He played prep at Evans High School. 8.9 points per game, 52% from the floor. And he's somebody that's been efficient at the charity stripe. We'll see if he can put that together on this trip.
And my nickname for him, I'm going to continue to say it until it sticks, the energy shifter. Every time Brazen James gets the ball, either in transition or underneath the goal, you can just feel the crowd start to stand on their feet waiting, and all eyes being on him. Everyone just waiting to erupt to see what he does. Such a tremendous athlete and a nice piece for Reinhardt as well.
11-6 Reinhardt. The Reinhardt Eagles are on a 4-0 run over the last minute and a half.
Bluefield's had some early success getting the ball to the free throw line and running their offense through Danny Alford.
McKinney sidestepped and the whistle. The foul on Reinhardt's Brazen James, so Bluefield's Rams will keep the basketball. 4 minutes and change off the clock in the first in Waleska, Georgia. Christian Bullock off the inbound, a senior from Goldsboro, North Carolina, played at Goldsboro High. Bullock working from the wing, steps just inside the line and knocks down the deep 2. That makes it 11-8 as the Rams get a bucket back.
Just a simple pick and roll there. Bullock able to force the switch and get the big guy Jared Russo on him. He felt comfortable taking him off the bounce.
James faked and then gave it to Jones, who wanted the 3, and a nice board down inside by Alford. Backdoor, it's Morgan who went to the corner, and the ball's loose out of play.
The way that Reinhardt has been playing defensively, again, a bit of a quasi-matchup zone look, a lot of switching. There will be cross matches available for Bluefield to exploit.
McKinney off the inbound. He'll drive inside, and the floater rattles back out. Now a second chance. This is Elijah White who gets it to go from mid-range, and it's a 1-point game, 11-10.
As much as Reinhardt has improved on this season, you still want to see them crash the glass with a little bit more regularity. Danny Alford already making his presence felt down there. That was his second offensive rebound, leading to more points for the Rams.
First a 4-0 run by the Eagles, then a 5-0 run by the Rams, and unable to snap it as Lewis goes down hard in the paint. Elijah White, the sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia. First the entry pass, which doesn't go, and the whistle as he tries for the putback.
Yeah, and if you just heard it from the crowd, it seemed like a lot more contact on the other end on that play from Nate Lewis compared to that drive by Danny Alford.
A couple of changes coming onto the floor in a moment. First one goes at the line for Alford. Sophomore from Emporia, Virginia, transferred from Life Christian Academy. He's appeared in all 19 outings this year for the Rams. 6'5", he's a regular contributor on the hardwood for the Rams. Appears in a lot of facets of the game for Bluefield University. He goes 1 for 2 at the line. We're tied for the first time tonight. It's 11-11. Right to the straightaway, and Darian Reed took an extra step. As soon as he got a hold of that ball, he's got me conditioned as the announcer over here. I thought he was going to pull up and knock it down. He's been electric from long range. And if you can't hear it on the crowd mic, head coach of the Reinhardt University Eagles, Justin Newton, calling for a timeout on the floor. We're going to take a timeout with him and Reinhardt University and be back with more college hoops in just a moment. You're tuned into the Southeast Sports Network. Welcome back to the campus of Reinhardt University. We're in Waleska, Georgia, and it's college basketball on the Southeast Sports Network, coming to you live in about a dozen different places, it feels like. Over-the-top video on SCSNsports.com. Would love to have you with us there. Visit SCSNsports.com. Click on the Watch Live. You can also find us on ETC Cable, LJ Telephone Company. Thank you for carrying tonight's game, broadcasting it live, and the Reinhardt University YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube at Reinhardt Eagles. Layup is off the mark. This one swatted at and escapes off of the floor. We're tied for the first time tonight. 6 minutes played. It's 11-11, Rams and Eagles. Bluefield was looking for the lead just a second ago. The inbound, a couple of quick passes. McKinney walked up to the line, the handoff to Eli White. Sophomore from Virginia Beach, floated this backside. Rams want the entry pass. Instead, he'll take it himself and boarded by Nakai Fisher.
Wasn't a bad idea by Alford to try to create from that middle spot in the zone. Just unable to get it to fall, but if the early stages tells us anything, it means he will be a huge reason why Bluefield can win this game.
And that's our player to watch, Darian Reed, who makes it 14-11 with a long ball. That's why we're watching him tonight, the graduate student from Colorado Springs, Colorado. He's been hot the second half of this season.
Hot like fish grease. Darian Reed has just continued to keep playing on a tear for the Eagles.
That was from a step beyond the line. The Rams will try again.
Another offensive rebound from Danny Alford. That's his third in today's game.
Reinhardt with that three a moment ago by Reed. Snapped a 5-0 run by the Rams. Just 3 points separating these two. Again from a step beyond the line. Jostled as he gets a hold of the ball, and the Rams will get another chance. This time from the corner, he can't knock it down. Regathered in the paint. Bluefield University finally loses the ball to Nakai Fisher. Nakai Fisher pulls up from the wing, and he's automatic. What a beautiful three.
Nakai Fisher is a guy who's to statistically may not average a whole lot of points for Reinhardt, but he is a very important piece to this team, a capable three-point shooter, can put the ball on the floor and make plays, and a very versatile presence coming off the bench for Coach Newton's squad.
Down low, trouble, and the Rams get it to go. They trail by 4, 17-13. Reinhardt to respond. Russo keeps it alive. Mekhi Fisher from the other wing, and he's marked both spots on the floor now. It's 20-13 Reinhardt.
Mekhi Fisher again from downtown, and he's a part of a litany of Reinhardt wings who are capable of putting the ball in the basket and knocking them down from 3.
And it's blocked in the corner by Russo.
And if you're a fan of the Eagles, if you've been watching them all season long, that's something you like to see there. The emergence of Jared Russo continuing. Nice defensive play there. As he continues to gain confidence, Coach Newton continues to give him more minutes. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come for the Reinhardt Eagles.
The Eagles are on a 9-3 run, dating back over the last 2 minutes of play. 11 and a half left to play in the first half in Waleska, Georgia. Bluefield, 3 seconds on the shot clock as he pulls up, and Christian Bullock can't get it. Wow, to the corner. Jones with the entry pass, and what a play by Reinhardt. Absolutely gorgeous passing, and a timeout taken by the Rams of Bluefield University. Way to force it by the Eagles. Your thoughts?
Reinhardt is getting everything they want offensively. They're swinging the ball around, finding good looks. Defensively, getting stops on Bluefield. The main thing they have to focus on is keeping them off the glass. Danny Alford already with 4 offensive rebounds in the first half. But if they can tighten up the screws rebounding-wise, it could be a runaway victory for Reinhardt.
Reinhardt University is on an 11-3 run over the last 3 minutes of play. They lead 22-13 in Waleska, Georgia. College basketball on the Southeast Sports Network. I'm Gabriel Schrei. Lorenzo Robinson, Navari Silliman here with me on courtside row tonight on the Southeast Sports Network. It's an all-football booth. I kind of like it that way, though. That's a little bit of my football bias coming out. I'm not very biased about much, but football I love. Both teams taking some time. What are your thoughts, Navari, on what the bench is going over right now for Bluefield? Did they just need a breather?
I think the coach is telling the guys to just relax, let the game come to them. One thing that Lorenzo alluded to earlier in the match is they've done a great job getting second chance points. So I think coach wants to stick with that, get bodies crashing the board, and I think they have a great chance to evenly match game.
It's a 9-point game in Waleska, Georgia. Reinhardt's Eagles lead, and they're 7-2 at home this season. An intimidating stat line for the Rams, who have only won 1 game on the road all year long.
Again, I remember we talked about this earlier, and I believe it was the game against Johnson. Anytime that a team is able to go on the road, they really get a chance to get to know one another a lot better because you're spending time away from your friends, away from your family. All you have is your team. So maybe those are moments that can galvanize your group as the season progresses. Getting a huge road victory would be big for morale and for Bluefield.
Eli White contested, and his shot comes up short. I think that big man wearing number 14 who just checked in might be a problem for Reinhardt. We'll see how they utilize him on the floor. A transfer from Park University. It's a 6'7" senior, or 6'8" rather, from Kansas City, Missouri, Rob Rhodes. He's got a great frame.
He's a big body. He's a big body down low. And it could especially be a problem for Reinhardt when they go to this look without a traditional center. Nate Lewis masquerading at the 5 for Reinhardt. He's around 6'5". He's a good rebounder. He's top 10 in the conference in blocks, but he gives up plenty of size, but he does not give up any heart or determination.
From Danville, Virginia, the pass to the corner. That was Martin who tees up a teammate. The Rams shot is short, and the putback won't go either as the whistle sounds. McKinney, the junior from Lineville, gets grabbed at. He's a transfer as well from Lenore Community College. The Alabama native has been a key contributor this season, appearing in all 19 games for the Rams.
And another possession, another offensive rebound for the Rams. Now up to 6 as a team. Bluefield has taken 7 more field goals than Reinhardt. Now, luckily for the Eagles, Bluefield is only shooting 6 of 19 from the field. But you cannot continue to give a team that many second chance looks as the game goes on.
We're nearly halfway through our first half of play on the Southeast Sports Network. It's an 8-point game, 22-14. Reinhardt's Eagles in the lead. This is Lau, defended by White. He'll give it off to Lewis. Nakai Fisher shovels it back to Lau. The entry pass working on the block, and it's Lewis who is the beneficiary of the whistle.
And I think Nate Lewis heard me over here saying masquerading as a 5. That was a big man move there from Nate Lewis in the post. Nice job there, going right into the chest of Rhodes, getting the finish and one.
6'6", a senior from Apopka, Florida, and he is tough to defend down inside. And I like that. You know, I was going to bring that up, Lorenzo. I love that you point out these guys are masquerading as centers. The athletic ability of Russo and Lewis inside has really been, it's eccentric, but it just works for Reinhardt.
Absolutely, and it's 2 completely different looks. Jared Russo, more of your typical 5. Great post game, nice touch around the rim protector. And Nate Lewis is very versatile. He can go out and guard on the perimeter, but also can protect the rim as well.
This is White, our player to watch for the Rams tonight, as the ball escapes the floor. It will go back to the Eagles in a 9-point game, 25-14.
Energy beginning to pick up in the building. Part of what makes Reinhardt so dangerous here at the Brown Athletic Center. Bluefield needs to try to wrestle some momentum away from them. Reinhardt running some action out of a horn set.
Jones shoveled it to Lau, and he takes an extra step as this will be turned back over to the Rams of Bluefield. Reinhardt's lead fueled by a 5-0 run to open the night. Now the Rams responded to that, but the Eagles went on a 4-0 run. Then there was a couple of buckets swung the other way. Bluefield University started to put themselves back into the game, but it didn't last for long as Reinhardt exploded on an 11-3 run over a 2.5-minute period. That's what built this lead, and they still lead by 11.
Reinhardt currently being up by 11 points, but imagine what that would be if they didn't give up so many offensive rebounds earlier in the first half.
A collision down inside, and the whistle as this will go back to the Eagles with 9 minutes to play in our first half.
Another nice heady play there from Lewis down low. He may lack a little bit of length and size that traditional centers have, but having the smarts to be able to slide underneath and draw the charge, that's something you can't teach. That's feel for the game.
Bluefield University 5-14 this season, 1-7 on the road. Eli White, the player to watch for us tonight. 19.5 points per game, 44% shooting from the floor. The team is averaging 71.5 points per game, so he's contributing almost a third of all their scoring.
White a little quiet. You would expect that to change.
A little bit of cash money from Nate Jones, who splashes it into the twine. It's 28-14 as the Eagles have doubled up the Rams.
Nate Jones has what you would like to call parking lot range. As soon as he parks his car, he is within range. Just a tremendous shooter for the Eagles. A guy that you have to be glued to. You cannot give him any space.
He's from a basketball town. You've probably heard of all the classic movies, but Dayton, Ohio is a big-time basketball town. There's nothing to do there. It gets down to be about 0 degrees, and it stays that temperature in the Midwest until May. It's gray and gross and snowy. I'm kidding, of course, but it's disgusting for a long time, and that's what folks do in Dayton, Ohio. They get together and they play hoops, and you can see it's paid off for him. He's been fantastic for Reinhardt. This one rattles out on Lewis. He misses his first at the line. 8 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in our first half in Waleska, Georgia. The second goes for Nate Lewis. Russo checks in for him as he'll take a break, and the Rams will take back over with the ball, trailing by 15. Eight minutes left to play in the first half in Waleska, Georgia. College basketball on the Southeast Sports Network. The Rams from the front court, a couple of passes, and now firing from the wing. This is off the mark for Hewitt. Hewitt, a graduate student out of Hickory, North Carolina, and a transfer from Gardner-Webb University. Trying to pull up on that three, Steph Curry vibes.
Yeah, tremendous off-ball movement by Hewitt, running around about 3 off-ball screens. Fred Adams was his matchup, and he was struggling to try to stick with him. Hewitt missing the three, though Fred Adams doing a nice job of getting back in front of him.
Oh no, Nate Jones from the next county over. He drains the three. Oh baby, Nate Jones has unlimited range.
Parking lot range. Nate Jones, another deep three. And that one was shot from near Atlanta, which happens to be about 45 to 50 minutes away from Waleska.
That's expensive postage on a shot like that. 32-14, 7:15 left to play in the first half. Seconds ago, if you're just joining us, Nate Jones hit the deepest three we've seen today, and one of the deepest we've seen in this gym all year long.
That was NBA range there from Nate Jones.
McClellan off the inbound, this goes. I don't know how he knocked that down. Tyben Sturm, graduate from Huntington, West Virginia, somehow gets that to go.
But if you're Coach Newton, those are shots that you live with. A fadeaway on the baseline, great defense being played.
Reinhardt's Eagles down inside. Russo gets it to go, and the crowd erupts as it's 34-16.
Russo continuing to blossom for the Eagles as his minutes increase. He's beginning to gain more confidence. Since the break, he's been a different player for the Eagles, a guy that they can rely on down low as a consistent post presence. See a glimpse of that right there with the hoop and taking the harm as well.
Can't get the old-fashioned three. It's 34-16 Eagles. Well, it's funny, every time we're getting ready to get started, Lorenzo, I look down and I'm looking over my notes here, and whenever I see his points per game average, I'm like, that doesn't seem right. He's been scoring a lot of points, but he's a second half of the season contributor, and he's really been lighting it up for the Eagles. The redshirt sophomore from Statesboro, Georgia, runs the floor, and the whistle as Fred Adams will turn it back over to Bluefield University.
Uncharacteristic mistake with the ball from Fred Adams.
The senior from Portsmouth, Virginia, Sage McClellan to the far side. Sturm, a transfer from the University of Alaska Fairbanks. During the winter, it's dark 24 hours a day in Fairbanks, Alaska. During the summer, it's light outside 24 hours a day.
Wow, that's unique. I couldn't imagine being in a place like that, I would say.
It's pretty wild up there. It's very cool. They don't have American football at the University of Fairbanks, Alaska, but they play some pretty good basketball and, as you can imagine, some pretty good ice hockey.
So I guess them not having football would make them a school that I would immediately cross off of my list, I would say.
Yeah, it's not on my list either. Sturm fires from just inside the line. This is loose and boarded by the Eagles. 34-16 Reinhardt. Reed to the corner. For 37, Jones comes up short. An outlet pass to the man, a transfer from University of Fairbanks. He goes inside, out to the straightaway. Rams dicing it up. The entry pass and the mid-range floater won't go. Boarded by Reed. 5.5 minutes to play in our first half. Reinhardt coasting off of a couple of big runs to open this first half of play. An 11-3 run really broke things open for the Eagles as they hit threes on 3 trips in a row up the floor. James evades the defender. Hopefully he's all right. He went down untouched and was slow to rise as James does finish off the play down inside. Looks like they'll take a break and pull him out of the game to check on him. I'm not sure if we'll take a timeout or not. It looks like we'll continue to play here in Waleska. 5:13 left to go in the first half. 36-16, Reinhardt Eagles lead by 20. Gabriel Schrei here, Lorenzo Robinson, Navari Solomon, college basketball on the airwaves, and what a great first half of play so far, guys.
Reinhardt currently up big in large part due to their long range shooting, 7 of 10 from 3 compared to Bluefield, who's 0 for 9. And sometimes it's just a make or miss game. A 21-point advantage and an interesting foul call there. It appeared that Russo did a nice job of staying vertical down low. Instead, it's a foul call.
And as you can hear, the fans are not happy about it.
Absolutely. I wish I was a little bit closer so I could hear the interaction between Coach Newton and the ref. It seemed like Jared Russo did everything he could not to pick up a foul there, stayed vertical, kept his hands up. But as I've said before, the ref is always right. You can't challenge them, you just have to go with their call.
Darian Reed checks in for Jones, and he's hanging out on the back of the floor by Christian Bullock. Reed, a graduate student from Colorado Springs, Colorado, 6'3", 200-pounder. This goes at the line. 5 minutes left to play in our first half. It's 36-17 Reinhardt. Entry pass to Russo for 38. He gets it to go. Hustling the twine. Reinhardt extends their lead.
And as active as Danny Alford is down low, Jared Russo absolutely has a size advantage against him. Right there, you saw Reinhardt take advantage by going straight to the post and giving him a chance.
Stolen away by Reed, our player to watch tonight for the Eagles.
Interesting to see if the Eagles go right back down to Russo in the post. Taking advantage of that matchup.
James turning all around. A backdoor pass is stolen by White, the little no-looker. Elijah White for the Bluefield Rams. Down inside. This is a long two, and it's wide. Reed on the wing. Elected to drive inside, and now Reinhardt will move this all around. James stops on the elbow. Reed is defended away, so he passes it backdoor to James. He's double teamed. Reed will go ahead and pull up from the wing. Oh my goodness, in motion and everything. He makes it 41-17.
That was a nice shot there from Darian Reed, but if you have been following Reinhardt's season, you are not surprised. Reed, a 47% three-point shooter, one of the very best in the country.
This goes for the Rams as they get one back, an important bucket to make it 41-20, a 21-point game in Waleska, Georgia.
Very much so, a much-needed three there. Bluefield went on a streak of missing 8 shots in a row. Big shot there to kind of take some momentum from the Eagles, with Reinhardt still ahead by 21 points.
And it's pretty indescribable how big that shot was. I don't think a little bit of description is going to do it. Prior to that, they had only scored 7 points. I want you to think about this, 7 points in the last 10 minutes.
Wow. I mean, it was a practice of futility offensively for Bluefield. They just couldn't get any buckets to go. They were taking threes, but they weren't making them. And Reinhardt up by 21. If you want to know where that 21 points came from, Reinhardt, a 21-point advantage in three-point shooting. So that is the margin that we have right now, coming exclusively from behind the three-point line.
It's absolutely wild. Nate Lewis drives inside and tries it as he's double-teamed and jostled. Falls off the mark. Eli White will run the floor. 2.5 to play in the first half. In all, it was a 9.5-minute run for the Reinhardt Eagles. And before that three, they were outscoring the Rams 30-7. Here's the pull-up from the corner, and it goes for Darian Reed. Reinhardt University is unstoppable.
That play made by Nate Lewis, picking up the steal, a nifty behind-the-back move, and a beautiful dime to Darian Reed for the corner triple.
And we'll keep it right here. No break for us as these two teams take a timeout. Here's a quick look back at that three by Darian Reed. From the corner, he knocks it down. That's just beautiful, and it's what you expect out of him at this point.
Absolutely, that's what he does. He is a knockdown shooter for Reinhardt. But again, that play being made by Nate Lewis. How many guys do you see around the country who get minutes at center, capable of not only picking up the steal, but making a nice behind-the-back dribble move and creating that play for Darian Reed? You don't see a lot of guys who can do that.
That fading three, I mean, he was kind of fading to the side on the three before that. It was, what, the 3:30 mark? Let's take another look at that. This time in slow motion. Look at fading, heavily contested, and he gets it to go. He's unreal.
He is just on a tear for Reinhardt. A huge reason for this midseason turnaround. And he'll be a big reason why they'll continue to progress as this year goes on.
College basketball on the Southeast Sports Network. 44-20, Reinhardt Eagles in the lead, a commanding lead in Molesca, Georgia. Feels like Reinhardt can do no wrong to this point. We're going to get back underway here in just a moment between the Eagles and the Rams. College basketball, 2:21 to play in the first half in what has largely been a Reinhardt-dominated afternoon.
Word to describe Bluefield's offense up to this point, anemic. 7 of 28 from the field.
The Rams try one from the wing. This is for 23, and he gets it to go. It's a 21-point game.
They've had a few good looks from downtown, have not been able to get most of them to fall. That was just with the doctor order for Bluefield. They'll need that to continue if they'll have any chance of coming back into this one.
This one rattles out on Reinhardt. A bucket brings it within 20. 90 seconds left to play in the first half in Molesca, Georgia. Eli White hands it off. Funneled to the close side. Rams inside. This bounces out. The Eagles' Darian Reed taking his time on his way up the floor as Coach Newton is delivering a play to him. Reed, backside. Nakai Fisher fights his way through traffic and puts it in on the glass. Unreal penetration.
Absolutely, Fisher able to take advantage of the smaller guy against him. On that pick and roll, getting right to the rim and finishing with a nice touch.
We're closing in on the halftime window. 17 on the shot clock, 47 game clock.
Eagles have just been so locked in defensively. Bluefield has struggled getting around them, making any plays.
This takes a big high bounce and is off the mark.
And when you're struggling to get any penetration or create any rim pressure off the dribble, you have to be able to hit shots to kind of loosen up the defense. And that's something that Bluefield has struggled to do in this one.
4 seconds separate the shot and game clock. 10 on the shot clock, 14 game. Entry pass, Nakai Fisher turns it around from the low block. This is a three, and it rattles off the front. Handed off to Lewis, it's loose, and with 5 seconds on the clock, it stops. McKinney onto the floor, the big man transfer from Park University out of Kansas City, Missouri, Rob Rhodes checking out. 5.2 seconds to get one back for the Rams. Clock's running, Elijah White against Fred Adams. Time's about to expire. They get it off in time, and it's short on the three-point look for the Bluefield Rams. So we've reached the halftime window, and after one half of play, it's all Reinhardt Eagles, 46-23 in Molesca, Georgia. Lorenzo, what are the Rams going to do with this halftime break?
They really need to figure out how they're going to score against this Eagle defense. Reinhardt's defenders doing a tremendous job staying in front of them, not allowing them to get any penetration or create rim pressure. But Bluefield has been unable to cash in from downtown. They need to find a way to get consistent buckets. And then for Reinhardt, just keep Bluefield off the glass. I mean, a lot of offensive rebounds in the early stages of the first half kept Bluefield in the game, gave them second chance looks. Without those points, it would be fair to wonder about how many points will Bluefield have. I can guarantee you it wouldn't be 23. So Reinhardt needs to keep Bluefield off the glass and continue to execute offensively.
We were or are well informed about how successful Reinhardt has been at home this season. So we kind of expected something like this, but that's a pretty big margin, 23 points after one half of play. Our leading scorers for the Rams of Bluefield with 8 points is Christian Bullock. He's also got a rebound and an assist. Our player to watch was Elijah White tonight. He's been mostly shut out. 1 for 3, 4 assists, but only 2 points tonight for the Rams. It'll be interesting to see if Bluefield can do anything to get him involved in the second half. Navari, do you think the Rams are going to make that a point, or are they just going to do whatever they think will work?
I think the Rams need to do a good job of focusing on Reinhardt's key players. Reinhardt's doing a very good job of their top performers, performing very efficiently. Nate Jones, Nate Lewis, Darian Reed, all guys that are playing good basketball as of right now. So I think the coach needs to make that a point going into the second half.
Quintavis McKinney, Danny Alford also with 5 points for the Rams of Bluefield. For Reinhardt University, the leading scorer, Nate Jones. Nate Jones. It's always Nate Jones. Has it ever not been Nate Jones? 4 for 7, 3 from beyond the arc. He's got an assist, 11 total points. Following him, Darian Reed is 3 for 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. What a stat line, 9 total points. Nate Lewis is 3 for 8 from the floor. He's got 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist to go with it. And Nakai Fisher has 8. Worth mentioning, Jared Russo's got 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 6 points as well. So it really has just been all Reinhardt Eagles to this point, and the Rams are going to have some whiteboard time. Coach Richard Morgan into the locker room, Andrea Stinson alongside him. What do you tell the guys at the halftime window if you're trailing by this margin?
Tell them that there are no 23-point plays, correct? There's no way that you can cut into this deficit or tie the game with 1 or 2 great possessions. You have to take things 1 possession at a time, 1 play at a time. You can't try to get everything back at once. Can't make any Hail Mary or home run plays. Just have to steadily chop away and try to get yourself back in it. But it starts with execution offensively and defensively, playing better as well, staying in front of Reinhardt, preventing them from penetration, and doing better down low as well.
A 23-point game at the half. Doubled up. The Reinhardt Eagles in the lead big time, 46-23 over the Rams of Bluefield. We'll take a break and be back with more college basketball on SESN in just a moment.
You're ready to reconnect, to discover, to explore a Georgia that always has more stories to share and views to admire. Set for your next adventure while you set your own pace to wonder or wander, or whatever it is that makes you feel you. To feel that Georgia feeling, those beautiful, real, honest moments. The only found in Georgia moments. Find yours at exploregeorgia.org.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold. Where's everyone going?
To fight crime? Okay.
Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
The Southeast Sports Network, your free ticket to front row sports action. From heart-pounding football showdowns to thrilling basketball games, experience every moment live, all from the comfort of your home. Your favorite athletes, broadcast in real time and on demand. It's not just streaming, it's your front row ticket to the best of Southeastern sports. And the best part? It's absolutely free. Don't miss a moment of your favorite teams. Join us now at the Southeast Sports Network. The Southeast Sports Network, your front row ticket to live sports.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job. It's our promise.
A truck is a tool, but a ram is life. Yeah, it's the wipe the sweat off your brow sort of life. But it's also the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. That looks nice. Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
Get the message of your company here. And get your message here. All while supporting local student athletes. Reach out today to get started. Shry Media. Find us at shrymedia.com.
Welcome back to Waleska, Georgia, home of the Reinhardt University Eagles. It's college basketball on the Southeast Sports Network. Thanks for being with us for this exhilarating matchup, and so far, it's all Eagles. Reinhardt University can do no wrong after one half of play here on SCSN. Gabriel Schrei here, Lorenzo Robinson, Navari Solomon alongside me for this great matchup. 46-23, all Eagles after the first half of play. What can Bluefield do to get back in this matchup?
A big thing Bluefield can do is just execute better offensively. Reinhardt's done a really good job defensively, again, staying in front of Bluefield's ball handlers, making it tough on them to create any sort of rim pressure. Bluefield needs to work to get better shots and then continue to crash the offensive glass. They had 6 offensive rebounds in the early stages of the first half, 0 over the last 8 minutes. So they need to crash the glass on these misses and take advantage of what could probably be the only main weak spot of Reinhardt's team right now, which is rebounding the basketball.
Reinhardt 7-2 at home this season. The Rams have only won a single game on the road. We were taking a look at individual score lines after that first half of play, and a couple of guys have done really well, but our players to watch were interesting. So far, Elijah White has been shut out. He's 1 for 3 for 2 points tonight. There's been a lot of success for Darian Reed, though. Reed is 3 for 3 from long range, 9 points, all of them 3 balls. He's got 4 rebounds and 4 assists to go along with it. Do you think that that's a telltale of the fact that Reinhardt is going to be in the lead? If you could just look at the individual stats and see, oh, the guys that are usually their biggest contributors are doing really well. Is that usually a pretty good indicator?
I would say so. When you look at the guys who have stepped up big time for Reinhardt over the course of the past few games, you're talking about Nate Jones, you're talking about Darian Reed, you're talking about Nate Lewis, and those are the guys, those are the names that we're calling a lot over the course of this game. And on the flip side of that, Elijah White, one of the more talented scorers in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, a guy who we have not heard much from at all. So when you look at two teams with their best players' performances, that can tell you everything you need to know about the way a game is going.
The fader rattles, rolls, and drops in for Elijah White. He's got 4 points now.
That was exactly what he needed to kind of get himself back going, but can he continue that as this second half progresses?
Reinhardt drives inside. Russo gets the putback. The Eagles had a 5-0 run to open the night, a 4-0 run, sort of put them in position to strike, and then they ripped off a 30-7 run, outscoring the Rams by 23 over 9 minutes of play in that first half. It's 48-25 here in the early stages of our second half of play. Bluefield University starting hot with a bucket on their first trip up the floor. Flipped close side from the wing, it's short.
And that was a nice possession there by Jared Russo, getting switched on to a small guy. The guard trying to attack him, but Russo moving his feet, staying in front. And that's kind of been the trend for Reinhardt. They have done a great job staying in front of Bluefield's ball handlers.
Reinhardt, Russo, the handoff to Jones. He sidesteps the defender and fits it back to Jared. This is loose, picked up, and now the three as the shot clock goes for Fred Adams, but not in time. (48-25) Reinhardt University. Elijah White, the sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia, out of Kempsville High School. Floated to the far side. Bullock, a senior and a product of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Wants to knife his way down low, in some danger, and so the quick handoff. That doesn't pay off initially. A second chance won't either as Russo gets the board.
Another telltale sign when you can tell the way that one team is playing relative to the other is shot quality. The quality of the looks that Bluefield is getting has just not been very high. Compared to Reinhardt, they're either getting ball, they're either getting possessions, getting right to the rim, or shooting open jumpers. Everything Bluefield shoots has been contested so far.
The local product got a hand on that, and he's hit with a foul. Caleb Morgan, the sophomore, a native of Bluefield, West Virginia, played his prep at Graham High School. He's appeared in all 19 games this year for the Rams. 2.5 minutes into our second half. Reinhardt has nearly doubled up the Rams with 50. Fred Adams, the redshirt sophomore from Statesboro, off the mark as he goes 1 for 2 at the line. Bullock on the fast break, the quick feed inside. Tried twice, but Lewis gets the board. Hustling up the floor and looking for the transition points as two come together in the low paint. This will go back to the Rams.
An intriguing call, I would say, from the ref on the baseline. It appeared that Lewis did a nice job with the Euro step, getting away from the defender. It felt like Morgan was continuing to slide into him during his move, which by the letter of the law is a blocking foul, but yet again, the ref is always right. You just have to live with the call.
Morgan went to the corner. Here's the drive by McKinney. Floated to the close side, and Eli White's shot takes a big high bounce before it's boarded by Lewis. To the corner, James is wide open, and he can't knock him down. 3.5 minutes played in our second half. It's 49-25 Reinhardt. The backdoor pass intercepted by Fred Adams, and another call against Reinhardt.
So if I can just go on a little bit of a mini rant here. One thing that I absolutely despise sometimes when watching college basketball is officiating inconsistencies. Nate Lewis, a play on one end, making a nice move to the rim, a Euro step, getting away from the defender who slides into him. he gets called for the charge. And on the other end, Nate Lewis down low, waiting for the defender, draws the charge, it seems like, but it's called a block. I mean, it's really hard to see the way that the ref is calling it when it's so inconsistent.
Great drive and a couple of passes. From the corner, he had space to get it off, but couldn't knock it down as Adams gets the board. Reinhardt pushing the tempo. Fred Adams, backdoor. Russo is blocked down inside, and now the whistle as Danny Alford gets hit with a foul.
And Russo drawing the foul there, but that was a nice dish from Fred Adams, one of the better pure point guards in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. Tremendous playmaker, very poised with the basketball.
Russo's first off the mark. Jared Russo, a redshirt sophomore who's got really hot in the second half of the season. He's 6'9", out of Woodstock, Georgia. He played his prep at River Ridge High School, and he's been a big contributor for the Eagles as we barrel towards February in Appalachian Athletic Conference play. Christian Bullock, the senior from Goldsboro, distributes this to the far side. Going to work, he twists his way down low off the glass, and it won't drop for the Rams. They're trying again. To the mid-post. This one's swatted at, still loose as Reinhardt comes down to the ball.
So difficult to score over Russo down low because of his size and length.
Elijah White with a great steal. Long pass up the floor, off the glass. This rolls in for McKinney, the junior from Lineville. And we're just playing a game of throw and catch here, up and down the floor, through the air between the Eagles and the Rams.
Very similar to a football game, I would say. A lot of long passes and interceptions being made right now on the basketball court.
4 points in the last 2 minutes of play, as this won't go either. The Rams get the board. Two connections up the floor. It's Elijah White dicing it up. On the close side, Bullock looking for space. Nowhere to fit that. He'll pick it up.
There is a mismatch down low for Bluefield. See if they can take advantage. Adams switched on to Alford.
In the low post, this goes for the junior from Lineville, Quintavis McKinney.
Nice move there, and a high degree of difficulty on that shot, especially against the outstretched arms of the 6'8" Russo.
Really big fan of the patience of Donovan Martin on that last trip up the floor for the Rams as they get the steal. Outward pass all alone, and he gets it off the glass. It's McKinney again.
Reinhardt getting a little sloppy. A nice timeout from Coach Newton. Try to reset his guys and get them ready to make a hard finish as this game goes on.
Timeout on the floor. College basketball on the Southeast Sports Network. A 19-point game. The Eagles of Reinhardt are in the lead over the Rams of Bluefield. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Alaska, Georgia. College basketball on the Southeast Sports Network. Gabriel Schrei here, Lorenzo Robinson, Navari Solomon alongside me on SCSN for a great matchup today. It's a 19-point game, 50-31. The Rams trailing, but they're on a 6-2 run over the last couple of minutes, getting a few back and trying to claw their way back into contention against the Eagles of Reinhardt University. They've been dominant at home this season, but tonight they feel unstoppable.
Probably one of the better halves of play that they've had all season long came in the first half of this game. Getting a little sloppy here in the second half. That was a nice timeout from Coach Newton, trying to calm down his guys, help them reset.
Wow, with a floater from the elbow, it's automatic. It's 52-31 Reinhardt Eagles.
If If you want to know why you call a timeout in that situation, that's exactly why you do it. Reinhardt getting right into their offensive set, and Tucker Loud knocking down the nice mid-range jumper.
Rams, the entry pass, mid-range, too much on it as Russo gets the board. Great score on the last trip up the floor for this guy, the redshirt sophomore from Jasper out of Pickens High School, Tucker Lau. He's defended by Elijah White, our player to watch for the Rams. Jones drives inside. This is loose and clatters off the glass, but Reinhardt keeps the ball. The pull-up for Darian Reed, and the graduate student from Colorado gets another. 55-31.
He is in the zone for the Eagles, continuing to knock down threes at an impressive clip.
Elijah White from a step beyond the wing, can't get one of his own. Russo gets the board. Reinhardt now will run the floor. Fisher all the way around the world to the corner. Reinhardt inside, Lau looks both ways, and a failed attempt on the steal as Nakai Fisher pulls up for the three. Mind-blowing success for Reinhardt as they lead by 58-31.
And a nice shot there from Nakai Fisher. But how about a shout out to Darian Reed, who has been as hot as any other player in the country from downtown. Could have very easily taken that jump shot, but made the extra pass to Nakai Fisher to get him going from three.
Elijah White takes a three. This is Darian Reed. Reed running the floor. Entry pass to Russo down inside, who's swatted at, and the foul on Rob Rhodes.
You see there, Russo, still a young guy. His first instinct when he got the ball underneath the basket, he made a peek out to the corner to Tucker Lau, thought about making the pass.
Russo's first is short, remains the same margin between these two. Reinhardt in the lead by 27, 58-31. 12:40 to play on the afternoon.
Closer look at what Russo's been able to do since coming back from the break. 12.7 rebound effort against Truett McConnell. Followed that up with an 11.7 rebound effort against Union. And then also an 8.10 rebound effort against Kentucky Christian. All in the month of January. Jared Russo has been a huge revelation for Coach Newton's ball club.
Eli White drains one into the bowl and gets three back. That snaps an 8-0 run by the Reinhardt Eagles. Lau wants to get the run restarted. His shot comes up just short as it's gathered up by the Rams. Backdoor, this rattles out, and the whistle in favor of Bluefield University. Lewis checks in for Jared Russo, who will take a quick break. Nakai Fisher hands it off to Lau, who will run the floor for Reinhardt. Jones gives it off to Nakai Fisher. For 60, he takes it inside and gets it off the glass.
Kai Fisher had a few nice catch-and-shoot three-point bombs right there. Fisher putting the ball in the ground and getting it to go with a nice lay-in.
Bullock gave it off to Eli White. Back to him on the wing. Entry pass stolen by Nate Lewis. Sticky hands up the floor. Lau takes it all the way and swatted at. That'll be goaltending either way. That's going to stand for Lau.
That was a tremendous move there from Lau, freezing the defender with a little bit of a stop and go there.
Eli White to Bullock. All the way to the far side to Martin, who takes it. It goes wide, regathered. Rams try again and get it to go as they wrestle the twine. It's Danny Alford.
That's what he does best again. One of the better rebounders in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. Offered his 5th offensive rebound of the game.
Reed from over the mountains, and this time it's off the mark.
Reed has just been on such a tear from downtown that, I mean, as a defender, you feel like there's nothing left you can do but close out as hard as you can. Right there, a little bit too aggressive on the closeout, leading to the foul.
Darian Reed has been so good this season. It's almost indescribable. Tonight, 4 for 4 From the floor, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's perfect, 100% shooting tonight. 6'3", Colorado Springs product. And he's done everything right for the Eagles. Through the entire season, 47% from the floor, 47% from three-point land, and he's averaging 10 points per game. But since the break, it feels like he's averaging 15, maybe 20 points per game.
Such a consistent scorer off the bench for Reinhardt. His scoring has picked up right when the Eagles need him most.
The transfer from Alaska Fairbanks. Backdoor. This is lost by the Rams and gathered by Lewis on the baseline. Look at Nate Lewis' ball handling skills. That's just size of palm right there. Wow. Dicing it up. Floated close side. Reinhardt down low. This goes for Nate Jones. Reinhardt leads by 29. We're nearly halfway through our second half of play. Driving down low, pass back door, and the foul as Alford takes this up. A good look by Tybin Sturm, the Huntington, West Virginia native. Tybin is fairly new to the rotation. He's only played in 12 of the 19 games Bluefield has competed in this season. A transfer from University of Alaska Fairbanks. 90 points, though, in 12 games is pretty good. That's 9 points per game.
You see Reinhardt able to go with many different looks down low. And Nate Lewis, very versatile defender playing at the center spot. Now Lewis goes to the bench, and Jared Russo, their more traditional post player, comes back onto the floor. Reinhardt team that can play in many different styles.
Nakai Fisher to the bench. Darian Reed is right in front of us here as Lau takes the inbounding pass from James. Lau defended by our player to watch for Bluefield, Elijah White. The give to James. He drives down into the low post, and this one is off the mark as Alford boards it. McKinney and Alford leading all scorers for the Rams, both with 11 points. Alford's got 10 rebounds and 3 assists after that last grab off the glass. Sturm backside. Teed up, it's Elijah White defended by Lau. He tries the floater and it goes. That's money for Eli White. He's got 9 points, 4 for 9 from the floor.
That was really the first time since Tucker Lau's been in the game that he was able to find some free space. Lau doing an incredible job keeping him away from the basketball.
Great mid-range floater by Nate Jones, the junior from Dayton, Ohio. Creates his own space on that look. For 44, Eli White can't cash in. It's tipped back and goes for Danny Alford.
Yet another offensive rebound for Alford, now his 6th of this game. Doing what he does best, crashing the glass.
Oh man, that was mind-bending range. Just couldn't get it. It remains 69-44. Elijah White is in trouble. Fred Adams checks in for Lau.
How difficult it can be for lead ball handlers going against the Eagles. You're first dealing with a guy in Fred Adams who was top 10 in the conference in steals, a really good defender along the perimeter. And then when Adams takes a seat, Tucker Lau, a very scrappy defender himself.
Great backdoor pass to a guy who's now got 15 points, 6 for 12 from the floor, Danny Alford. This is Lewis who takes it off the glass, and it's short as there's a battle for the ball on the baseline. James fighting with it. Pass to Lewis again. Reinhardt will reset and take just a moment. 15 on the shot clock, 8:15 to go on the afternoon. 69-46, Eagle lead here on SCSN. Adams, backdoor feed, and jostled down low. Lewis was hoping for a chance at the old-fashioned three.
That set that Reinhardt just ran, commonly referred to as a Spain pick and roll. on many professional teams. It's where one guy comes up. It looks like a traditional pick and roll. One guy's coming up to set a screen, but then that man's guy is screened by another person, by another player. One guy's fading out for three while the other one is rolling to the rim. Very difficult for teams to be able to handle. And right there, Lewis found a little crease to draw the foul.
He gets his first. It's 70-46. Reinhardt lead. Lewis has 9 points tonight. He's perfect at the line on this trip. It's 71-46. Reinhardt Eagles. Elijah White, the sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia, runs the floor. Defended by James. He buys just enough space to get the shot off. The putback narrowly escapes over the baseline, and now it will.
Just enough space to get the shot off is right. If he was any closer to Brazen James, that would have surely been a block by him. But again, tremendous defense by the Eagles, staying in front of ball handlers and challenging every shot.
Out of Churchland High School, it's the sophomore, Sage McClellan, who puts it on the floor. Elijah White defended by James. What a shimmy and shake. Down to the corner. Bluefield Rams looking inside. Now they'll go ahead and shoot the three as Elijah White gets another. He is unreal tonight. 12 points for our player to watch.
And when you're as talented as White is scoring the basketball, you knew it would just be a matter of time before he would find himself offensively.
I can't believe at the halftime break we were talking about how he only had 2 points. The second half of play, the last 13 minutes, have been all Elijah White for the Rams.
Now up to 12 points, 2 of 5 from downtown. Reinhardt's done a great job staying in front of him, not giving him any space to drive. And again, going back to the point about shot quality, everything that he's done has been challenging. A hard-fought and a well-earned 12 points for Elijah White.
Giving this poor official right in front of the scorer's table here a hard time about the floor still being wet. Reed passes it back down to Jared Russo, who gets the dunk. He bends the rim for two. It's 73-49.
Jared Russo, welcome to your Kodak moment.
Elijah White tries for three, and he nearly hit that. It would have kept the momentum spiraling here in Waleska. Kodak moment is right. That was definitely one for the record books for him. Probably not the right choice of words, maybe picture books. Darian Reed down inside. This comes off the glass into the hands of McKinney. McKinney running the fast break, wants to go end-to-end, and instead Russo gets the board. We're still running the fast break as Nate Jones pulls up for three to keep things rolling for Reinhardt, but instead the board by the Rams. Stolen by Nate Lewis. Lewis is all alone, and he gets a dunk of his own. It's 75-49, Reinhardt University Eagles.
Reinhardt getting runouts, a tremendously athletic team. Anytime you give them fast breaks, something is bound to happen, and another chance here.
Russo got the block, but the Rams get back their own miss, and this one hooked in by Quintavis McKinney.
Reinhardt is just so athletic, so many guys who are capable of pulling off highlight reel feats around the rim.
Fred Adams running the floor, Nakai Fisher, Taden Owens waiting to check in. Down low, trouble, Reinhardt around the arc. Jones floats it to Adams. Adams didn't have a lot of room. Now here's one from long range, and it goes for 78.
Beautiful Spursian passing there from the Reinhardt Eagles. Getting the ball around, passing up good shots for great ones.
The foul on Fred Adams, the redshirt sophomore from Statesboro, Georgia. On that last trip up the floor, it was Nate Jones who hit a gorgeous three-bomb. The junior from Dayton, Ohio can do no wrong tonight for Reinhardt University. We're going to keep it here. No break for us, even though these two programs head to the side of the floor for a quick breather and to talk some strategy. 78-51, Reinhardt Eagles a commanding lead in Waleska. What's the vibe? What's the move?
For Bluefield, again, like I said before, at halftime, there are no 23-point plays. Now, of course, that doesn't change. There are no 27-point plays that you can make with 5 minutes left. You have to take it one possession at a time. You would like to see them run their offense with a little bit more pace, try to get up and down the floor. But, I mean, when you're playing against a team in Reinhardt who is just shooting the cover off the basketball, it can be very difficult. 62% from the field and 60% from three. It's definitely a long road ahead for Bluefield in these last 5 minutes.
Elijah White, 5 for 13 from the floor tonight. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 12 total points. On the other side for Reinhardt University, our player to watch is Darian Reed. Reed is 4 for 5, 4 of those coming from long range, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Both players to watch have lived up to that title tonight.
And one thing I want to spotlight is Nakai, his play coming off the bench, being very efficient, shooting very solidly from three-point and just coming off the bench and giving the guys a spark.
Nakai Fisher defensively right there, making things difficult off the inbound. Alford for the Rams. To the far side, Bluefield University with 5 minutes left to play. They trail big, 78-51. The handoff, Bluefield pulls up from the straightaway, and that's a money ball for Quintavis McKinney.
Very tough shot.
That's unreal. He's got 16 after hitting that one. Tayden Owens heavily defended along the arc. Jones gives it off to Reed. Reed stops on the elbow, and off of the dicey move, he makes it 80-54.
Darian Reed, how do you do? We've seen him hit the catch and shoot ones right there, putting the defender on skates before hitting the nice mid-range jumper.
McKinney's wide open, and he hits it in the eye of Nakai Fisher as he closes off. What a 3-bomb in response by the Rams. This is Jones who wants to go the distance, and he's fouled down in the low paint.
Darian Reed has just been on another level for Reinhardt, scoring the basketball. Coming off of a season-high 23 points in their last game against Kentucky Christian. Staying hot with an uber-efficient 17.
8 players tonight with more than 10 points between these two teams. 5 for Reinhardt University, 3 for the Bluefield Rams. For Reinhardt, it's Nate Jones with 20, Reed with 17, Lewis with 13, Fisher with 13, and Russo with 11. For the Rams, who are on the offensive end of the floor here, Elijah White's got 12, 15 for Danny Alford, and 19 for McKinney. Here comes Reinhardt, and Jones is fouled on the edge of the block as he's competing against Sage McClellan. Two shots for Nate Jones as the senior from Portsmouth, Virginia. Just a little too much contact for the officials' liking.
So I do think it's time for another nickname, I would say. We have Brazen James, the energy guy for Reinhardt. Well, how about this for Nate Jones, Mr. Consistent. He's been one of the more consistent scorers in the country. And it seems like every time you watch Reinhardt play, the one guy that you know that you can count on to get a bucket is Nate Jones.
And Jones right there is going to get a break as Tucker Lau comes on in his place with 3:51 left to play in Waleska between the Rams and the Eagles. Bluefield, the entry pass to the close side on the wing, and it's just off the front of the iron as Reinhardt gets the board. Darian Reed and the Eagles now, a sudden change of tempo after fast breaks on many trips in a row up the floor. They're going to take their time. Lyle gives it off to Reed. He wants a 3 from the wing, this time too much on it. A rare look for that man from Colorado.
Absolutely, and it's really crazy to see him miss. Didn't even know that he could miss.
Bullock with a nice floater for 59. Reinhardt Eagles making a few more changes. More on that in a moment as Nakai Fisher floats it to low. I thought Lowe was going to shoot from there. Reed with a step back, shakes the defender off the glass. It goes for the Eagles. They lead 86-59.
Okay, Darian Reed has to chill now. He's doing way too much for Reinhardt. Bluefield cannot handle him.
The Eagles get the steal. Floated to the corner. It's Lau. He's traveling across the floor. Reed picks it up and pulls up right away. This time it won't go for him.
Well-deserved heat check there from Darian Reed. I mean, when you saw him get the ball on the wing, you just knew he had to take it.
Rams fighting for the ball, and Nakai Fisher will take it away. Just over 2 minutes left to play in Waleska. Here on the Southeast Sports Network, it's 86-59. All Reinhardt Eagles down the stretch. Well, barring any miracles, Reinhardt is going to wrap this one up and walk away with a W and rise to 500 overall on the season, as well as 8-7 in conference play. Nakai Fisher, backdoor feed, off the glass, it won't go, but put back by Nate Lewis.
And getting to 500 for Reinhardt, definitely something that means a lot for this team. They've been through so much adversity, through injuries, and younger guys figuring out their way. To be able to battle themselves back into 500 and potentially a winning record in conference play definitely has to feel good for Coach Newton's squad.
Bradford and Merriweather onto the floor for Reinhardt's Eagles. More on them in a moment. The Rams working it all around. Trailing by 29. Knifing his way inside into the front, and this goes from mid-range. A nice little touch by Caleb Morgan, the sophomore from Bluefield. Reinhardt, two fresh faces on the floor. Darian Reed working with the orange now. He'll float it to the corner. Owens can't find any space initially. Reed gives it down low, and this is blocked as the Rams are all over him, and I think they knew that was coming. Jordan Bradford, the redshirt sophomore from Statesboro, played at Southeast Bullock High School for prep. 6'1", and just the 7th time we've seen him appear in a game this season for Reinhardt. Another player on the floor, product out of Hiram, Georgia, Tyler Merriweather, wearing number 50. Oh, the quick pull, and it goes for Reinhardt. They extend their lead even further in the final minute.
Nice shot there by the freshman Taden Owens. His first three-pointer of the season, and it comes in this complete annihilation of the Bluefield Rams.
45 seconds left to play in a 28-point game. It's 91-63 Reinhardt Eagles. Taden Owens runs the floor for Reinhardt. He stops on the wing. In trouble, Jordan Bradford being harassed. Somehow keeps the basketball. Loose on the edge of the paint and floated to Nakai Fisher. 25 seconds left to play as Fisher cuts to the basket, and the whistle stops the clock at 21.5 seconds in Waleska.
These are the times of the game that you really have to enjoy as a fan of the Reinhardt basketball team, just seeing the energy that the bench and the gym has. A lot of support on many different facets for this program.
The Reinhardt Eagles coming off of a 78-65 win against Kentucky Christian on Saturday are going to extend their win streak to 4, as well as rise to 8-2 overall at home and 9-9 overall in the season. Now 8-7 in conference play. The Rams to the offensive end of the floor. He'll pull up. Oh, and he gets a deep three with 13 seconds on the clock. Caleb Hewitt, the graduate from Hickory, North Carolina. 10 seconds on the clock. Reinhardt just looking to burn the clock. Two quick passes up the floor. Owens gonna let it go. So the Bluefield Rams, coming off of a 86-83 heartbreaker at Truett McConnell on Saturday, drop another one and fall to 5-15 overall in the season, 5-11 in conference play after their defeat at the hands of Reinhardt University in Waleska, Georgia this evening. Final score 92-66. A big win for the Reinhardt Eagles, and it was fueled by a massive 30-7 run over the course of 9 minutes in that first half of play. There was a 5-0 run to open the game, a 4-0 run to kind of keep Reinhardt stoking the fire, if you will, in the early stages of that first half. But that 30-7 run over the course of 9 minutes just blew things wide open in favor of the Eagles in a game in which they never trailed tonight and they were only tied once. What a win for Reinhardt.
Absolutely, an incredible victory for Reinhardt. And anytime you can get two guys coming off of your bench going off for double figures, Darian Reed with 19 and Nakai Fisher with 14, you can project that it'll be a pretty good game. Of course, you have Mr. Consistent Nate Jones with 22 points. But probably the most thorough and dominant victory from the Eagles so far this year. A good omen as they look to continue their march towards the Appalachian Athletic Conference tournament.
It definitely felt like the Reinhardt Eagles could do no wrong tonight. Coming up next for Bluefield's Rams, CIU travels to Bluefield, West Virginia. Then Reinhardt battling them on Sunday. Then they'll go on the road to take on St. Andrews on Wednesday, the 31st, to round out their next 3 games. For the Reinhardt University Eagles, a road stand, 3 games in a row on the road, somewhere they've struggled this year, so it'll be interesting to see if they can turn around that stigma that's been haunting them since the opening stages of this season. First to Milligan, then Bluefield, and then finally the University of Pikeville up in Kentucky to round off a 3-game road trip before returning home on Tuesday, February 6th. What are your final thoughts on tonight's game for these two programs, and what should they take and carry forward coming out of this?
Nice victory for Reinhardt again. Of course, a lot of different guys stepping up. You do like to see some of those young pieces beginning to round into form. For Bluefield, not a whole lot to feel great about, but the play of McKinney and Danny Alford, something to take with you. McKinney with 19 points and Alford with a double-double, 15 points and 12 rebounds. 2 guys who will need to supplement Elijah White as their season progresses.
Well, thanks so much for joining me, guys. A lot of fun tonight. And as we close out here, for those of you wondering at home on the floor, warming up for practice, the 18-0 undefeated and top 25 Reinhardt University Eagles women's basketball team. For Lorenzo Navari, our entire crew, I'm Gabriel Schrei saying so long from Waleska, Georgia. The final score, a Reinhardt Eagles victory, 92-66. This has been College Basketball. All games and events airing on our networks are broadcast live in our copyright material. Today's game will be archived inside of the Apper platform where you viewed it and available for replay. This has been a presentation of the Southeast Sports Network.